Hello and welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd, and welcome to Game 3 of the round of 8. Today we have on Ed and Mike, and if you guys missed last episode, what a game that came down to the wire between Rich and Ryan. Honestly, guys, I had no idea who was going to win that. I thought, at the beginning, Rich was looking like the favorite, then Ryan came back, and then Ryan answered the last question incorrectly, and, well, Rich had a tap-in, as they'd say in soccer. But thanks for coming back, and congrats to making it this far, Ed and Mike. How have you guys been?
Good. Shout out, Rich. Big win. Listened to it today. Close game. I would have blown a few of those, I think, but good win nonetheless.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I listened to it this morning, sort of as like prep for this, and I'm not feeling great about tonight. We'll see how it goes, but I didn't do so hot the last episode.
Hey, you guys made it, so that's all that matters. So now you guys go head-to-head, and honestly, again, like the last two episodes, I have no clue which one of you guys are going to advance, but somebody is. And just like I did last episode, before we get into the game, I'm going to bring up another topic. So last episode, we talked about Gareth Bale to MLS, and yesterday, I saw on Twitter, I'm not going to mention this account because, they've said they have sources and they don't really get information that correct, in my opinion. But they mentioned that Ernst Tanner was exploring possible transfers of Kai Wagner to Europe prior to the coronavirus. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you guys believe that? Honestly, Kai Wagner had a great season last season. I can see it potentially going to Europe, but this early, I wasn't expecting that. And like I said, this... who knows if it's true or not, but they said that it could be a multi-million deal for the club and everything. So what are you guys' thoughts on this?
That's a hell of a return on investment. It wouldn't surprise me if that was true, just because Ernst is like such a business-first sentimentality type guy, second mindset, right? And that's a hell of a return on investment in a short amount of time. And they keep stating that's like Jim Curtin says it all the time. I know he's usually talking about homegrowns, but they said the next step's starting to sell guys. So yeah, I think we're going to see that sooner rather than later. And it might suck in the short term. But if you trust Ernst to backfill those positions the way he filled them in the first place, not the worst thing in the world, right?
Yeah, Matt Real did a good job, especially against LAFC when he filled in and everything. So, if they are indeed seeking a transfer for Kai Wagner, that just means that they have full confidence in Matt Real. But then my thing with that is now you don't have depth. So, you can look around the board and everything. You could slot two people in each position and everything. And before you get rid of Wagner, now you only have one left back and everything. Now, granted, like you said, Ernst done a really good job in the transfer market. So maybe he has his eyes on another prize left back. But Ed, just what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think long term they would think Matt Real. I think, but I think the thing about Wagner, I think he just has value. I don't know if they're necessarily shopping him per se, but I think they're always listening. They're always, if you're going to come with something significant, they'll listen. They'll take a deal. If it's a couple million transfer fee, then they'll take it. But I think it's a situation where they're open to a deal. And I think they have a lot of confidence in Matt Real. Getting a backup to him is a bit of a project, but I think in the immediate, right, we have no idea what's going to happen with this season, the way it's going, but if they play, they're not going to have a whole lot of time to we don't know, I guess, but is there going to be a preseason when they come back? I don't know. Is there going to be a couple weeks of practice and then they just going to play a game? We don't even know what that's going to look like. But I think that the thing to take from it is that they're listening to offers. And Wagner's just I think he was the best left back in the league last year, and he has a ton of value and a big high ceiling.
Yeah, and he's only 22 years old. Left back's one of the hardest positions in the world to fill and everything. And now, granted, you look in Europe and everything where clubs are going to ask for $30+ million for a left back and everything. Not saying Kai Wagner's as good as some of the left backs in Europe and everything, but he might be a cheaper alternative for some of those cheaper clubs over in Europe that aren't going to spend millions of dollars due to the coronavirus. So who knows what the transfer market's even going to be like for the teams in Europe for MLS and everything. But here's another idea too. Everybody said at the start of the season, why not go three in the back with Elliott, McKenzie, and Glesnes? If they did get rid of Wagner, it's a possibility. So
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have flexibility with what they can do given the personnel, which is a good thing, right? You want to have options. I don't know if I love three in the back. I think that leaves us maybe a little too exposed, but I don't know. I'm glad they can play more than a single formation, though, unlike what Ernie would like us to believe.
Absolutely. But let's go ahead and get into the game. Like we've been starting the last 10 episodes, 5 and 25 is what we're going to be starting with today. So if you're new, 5 and 25 is where I ask each contestant 5 questions, and they have 25 seconds to answer the questions. The clock starts after I read the first question. If a contestant doesn't know the answer, they can say skip, and we can go back to the question if time permits. Each question will be worth 2 points. And we're going to start with you, Ed. So questions, you guys?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. The timer starts as soon as I get done the first question. Question number 1 for you, Ed. Who was second in goals in 2010 for the Union?
Moreno.
What year did the Union draft Jack Elliott?
2016.
Who led the Union in yellow cards in 2016?
Fabinho.
Who leads the Union in minutes played all time?
Ray Gaddis.
What year did the Union finish with 15 wins?
2013.
So that last one, what year did the Union finish with 15 wins? That was 2018. So you said 13. Who led the Union? Who leads the Union all time in minutes played? That is indeed Ray Gaddis with 17,611. Ton of minutes played, and Jim Curtin trusts Ray Gaddis. We all know that. Question number 3, who led the Union in yellow cards in 2016? That was Tranquilo Barnetta with 8. Question number 2 was, what year was Jack Elliott drafted? You said 2016. You were 1 year off. It was 2017. And then who was second in goals in 2010 for the Union? The answer to that was Danny Mwanga with 7.
Okay.
So
my guess was Moreno, too. I thought you got that one.
So you went 1 for 5 there, Ed. That gives you 2 points. And Mike, we go to you. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Timer starts after I read the first question. Who started in goal for the Union's first ever game?
Chris Seitz.
What year did the Union sign Christian Maidana?
2014.
Who led the Union in yellow cards in 2015?
Pass.
What Union player is the only player to get 2 red cards in a season?
Fabian.
What year did the Union finish with 18 losses?
2017.
And the question you skipped on, who led the Union in yellow cards in 2015?
Maidana. I don't know.
Yeah, good. So we'll go back to it. And so the last question I asked you, who led the Union in yellow cards in 2015? That was Maurice Ardou with 8.
Okay.
The other question I asked before that was, what year did the Union finish with 18 losses? That was 2012. What Union player is the only one to get 2 red cards in a season? That would be Josh Yarrow in 2016.
Josh Yarrow. Ooh.
What year did... Yeah, it was indeed. And Mike, we can all see each other on Skype. He just took his hat off and just scratched his face. He knew it. What year did the Union sign Christian Maidana? That was indeed 2014. And the first question I asked, who started in goal for the Union's first ever game? That is indeed Chris Seitz. So you went 2 for 5, and that gives you 4 out of 10 points, Mike. Still early on anybody's game. But that leads us to true, false. So we will stay with you, Mike.
All right.
Here we go. And again, guys, you guys are not timed on this, so you guys can take your time. But first question for you, Mike, true or false? Regular season only. The Union have 14 wins in 25 games against New England all time.
14 wins in 25 games. False. I think it's higher.
It is true. So they do play good against New England. They started in the first 8 games against New England, 5 wins, 3 draws. So it seems like the Union do have New England's number. I
got that stupid spreadsheet. Rich isn't going to let me live that down.
Well, Rich, you know what you do best on Twitter, so I think you might have a field day with Mike. But here we go. Question number 2, true or false? In 35 regular season games for the Union, Freddie Adu scored 7 goals.
False.
It is true. I was surprised by this. So he scored twice against New England, once against Seattle, once against Chivas, 1 against Toronto, and twice against Houston.
All right.
Here we go. Question.
He had some Open Cups in there. A couple Open Cup games in there.
So we'll go to question number 4. True or false, Ray Gaddis has more yellow cards for the Union than Elsenio Casper and Jack Elliott combined in their Union career.
False.
It is indeed false. Gaddis has 24 yellow cards, while Elsenio Casper and Elliott, they have 28 yellow cards all combined. So if I said red cards, my bad. I think I said yellow, but you got that right. Question number 4, which would be 5. I'll give you a 5th one after this. True or false, Danny Califf played 65 games for the Union in the regular season. So in those 65 games, Danny started in every single one of them.
True.
It is true. I was surprised by this. Were you guys surprised by that at all, or?
I don't remember him ever coming off the bench.
Subbed on as a center back. I mean, he started they had a red card in the first game, but he started that. So
yeah, and I mean, I just with him being captain and vice captain all those early years, I just can't imagine him coming off the bench. Yep. So that was my guess.
And here we go. Question number 5 for you, Mike. True or false? In his Union career, Ali Bedoya has 22 total yellow cards.
Could be true.
It is indeed true. So he is second all-time in the Union. Third, actually. It's Ray Gaddis, Brian Carroll, then Ali Bedoya. So there you go, Mike. Not bad at all. You went 3 for 5, so that gives you 7 total points and everything. Again, sorry for not writing the answer down for the year down for one of those questions, but still, I came up with a question off the top of my head, and you got it right. So 7 points for you. That's 3 out of 5 for that category. Now we move on to you, Ed. So are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Question number 1, true or false? This is the regular season only. The Union have 13 losses against the Columbus Crew.
False.
It is true. So the first 8 games the Union ever played against Columbus, they went 2 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. And as of late, it's kind of been up and down for the Union with Columbus. Still doesn't seem like they have their number. So I was also surprised by that when I went back. But nonetheless, that one was true. Question number 2, true or false? Tranquilo Barnetta finished his Union career with 12 assists in the regular season.
False.
It is indeed false. He finished with 7. So, again, you guys might not be surprised by this, but with me becoming a newer fan, I guess he was more of an attacking player, didn't really get those assists and everything. I guess he was known for his goal-scoring ability, but still, 7 assists, not terrible. But question number 3 for you, Ed. True or false? Sebastian Letou has 16 goals in 33 games in the U.S. Open Cup.
33 games. Yeah, I think that's true.
It is true. So if you guys pay attention at all on Twitter, a couple weeks ago, MLS tweeted out that stat, which I was a little bit surprised about, and I believe Sebastian Letou is still the all-time leading goal scorer in the U.S. Open Cup for modern day. So shout out to Seba. Question number 4, though. True or false? Sergio Santos and Jamiro Montero have the same amount of yellow cards with 3 apiece.
True.
It is true. So there you go. Not bad at all, Ed. And final question for you. True or false? Charlie Davies played 11 games for the Union, but in those 11 games, he never started.
I'm going to say true.
It is indeed true as well. So not bad at all, but still anybody's ball game adding it up now. So you went 4 for 5, Ed. Mike, you still have a 1-point lead. So you have 7 points, Mike, and Ed, you have 6 points. So just like it was, the last episode comes down to this last category, you guys.
Let's go.
Going into the third and final category, it's the one you guys should know by now, which is name the Union player. So in the final category, contestants will go head-to-head against each other in guessing the Union player I'm describing. I'll give 5 clues, and contestants can buzz in whenever they think they know the player. Contestants will buzz in by saying their own name. So if a contestant answers wrong, that will freeze them out until the next question. Each question will be worth 3 points each. Are you guys ready?
Ready. Yes.
Here we go. Player number 1 is a defender. Hint number 2, played 1 season for the Union. Hint number 3, has a brother, Genie, who plays for Liverpool.
Ed.
Go ahead, Ed.
Wijnaldum.
It is indeed Giuliano Wijnaldum. The other 2 hints for that were hint number 4, recorded an assist to Aalborg against Atlanta in 2017. And hint number 5, Giuliano. There we go, Wijnaldum. Here we go, player number 2, though. Is a midfielder. Has 4 goals in his Union career. Hint number 3, has a younger brother named Paxton.
Ed.
Ed just beat you, Mike.
It'd be Brendan Aronson.
It is indeed Brendan Aronson. And the other two, the last two hints for that were jersey number 22, and first name Brendan. Brendan Aronson is that player. Here we go, though, guys. Still anybody's ball game. Hint number 1 for player number 3, jersey number 20. Hint number 2, a winger.
Ed.
Go ahead, Ed.
Marcus Epps.
Wow. Yeah, it is indeed Marcus Epps. Did you know that, Mike?
No, I did not.
Man,
no chance.
And the other hints for that were last goal for the Union came against Real Salt Lake in 2018. Hint number 4, joined the Red Bulls from the Union in December of 2018 and the waiver draft. And hint number 5, first name Marcus. Marcus Epps is the player. Here we go, guys. Player number 4, hint number 1, jersey number 6. Hint number 2 is a midfielder.
Ed.
Go ahead, Ed.
Harris Medunian.
It is not Harris. So sit back, Mike, and you're able to just get the rest of these hints. So hint number 3, has played in a World Cup. Hint number 4, only played in the 2012 season for the Union. And first name, Gabriel
Gomez.
It is indeed Gabriel Gomez. So like it has been the last couple episodes, guys, it comes down to this final player. So it's all to play for. And again, like I said last episode, I think I picked out a good player for this. So let's see if I can trick one of you guys up. Here we go. Hint number 1, has played in a World Cup. Hint number 2, joined in 2014. Hint number 3.
Ed.
Ooh, go ahead, Ed.
Cleberson.
It is not Cleverson. So here you go. Let's see if you have it, Mike. So hint number 3 was a part of the great goalkeeper carousel of 2015. Hint number 4, signed in Turkey after leaving the Union. And first name, Raiz.
Mboli.
It is indeed Mboli. So, man, Ed, I mean, you're so confident in answering those questions early on and everything, and you jumped on this one because you thought you knew it.
I got to go with my gut somehow.
I was going to ring in with Mboli. We were actually thinking two different things with Cleberson and Mboli. I would have got lucky.
We did play in a little tournament. I should have picked it up from there, right?
So I guess, guys, now I'm throwing you guys for an even bigger surprise because Ed, you did indeed get 3 questions right that round, which did advance you to the semifinals with 15 points, and Mike, you had 13.
Hey!
So that indeed caught me by surprise. So thank you, Shelby, for keeping score and everything, so I didn't have to go and add all that up. But I mean, even though you round the wrong answer, Mike, I mean, great game played by you, and you didn't know the last player.
Good enough. If there's anyone to lose to, that's a good guy to lose to.
Yeah,
he knows a lot.
I thought you had me, man. You've been up all night making U.S. or MLS to Mexico pro rel scenarios. I thought your soccer brain was sharper than mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to talk about that there, Mike? I mean, I know you can probably spend all day on that, but what made you decide to come up with this pro relegation with Mexico and the U.S.?
So I mean, that whole thing, that's something. It's not like I came up with it all that day. Like, there's been rumors about them wanting to merge together for the last few years, and I was just like, well, how the hell is that going to work? And I just drew up some ideas in my head. It's like, it'd probably be an NFL model. And that's basically what it is that I posted. They would just not play every team every year and just cycle through different divisions and just put more of a focus on the teams in your region. So, I mean, that's the gist of it. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, probably everyone that listens to this has. But the Brotherly Game actually just posted it on their site, which is cool. I talked to the Duke by the River guys about it. Which they'll probably post soon too. Not to promote other podcasts on here.
Go ahead. I was going to mention it.
Yeah. And I'm actually talking to Matt Ralph and one of the guys at Brotherly Game tomorrow. I think we're going to write up a little stuff in more detail, some more of that to come. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's not that I don't want pro rel. I love pro rel. I wish it could be a reality, but the people with skin in the game are never signing off on that, right? So how would they make this work if they do want to do it? So that's all the gist of it really was. I think it sort of makes sense if that's what they want to do. And, we got a lot of NFL owners already involved in MLS, right?
Yep.
And a lot of the format of MLS is sort of based around and derivative of NFL. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them keep going down that path. But whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That whole Atlanta thing, I mean, they're just counting the money down there, and they just didn't have a team until then.
Yeah, for sure.
And the way I look at it is, anytime somebody comes up with a great idea, a way that the MLS should follow that idea, you just know it's getting thrown out the idea. They're never going to do it that way, even though everybody knows it's 100% right. So even though you came up with a great idea, Mike.
Well, soccer Twitter is pretty ruthless most of the time. And like the pro rel guys usually come after me a lot of the time anyway.
I blocked the main one I blocked. I won't say his name.
I know who you're talking about.
He quote tweets me from time to time. And I'll just sort of poke him. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it was pretty well received, which surprised me because usually everyone hates everything.
Said something, I think, right? And a couple other soccer people, I think, retweeted it or commented on it too. So, I mean, it did pretty well on Twitter. I mean, it blew up. I think it has 250 likes or something. I don't know. Could be even more now by the time this podcast comes out. So,
yeah, it's my Twitter claim to fame, I guess. I peaked.
For now.
Absolutely. But thanks so much, you guys, for coming on. And as always, why don't you guys tell me where people can find you on social media and everything? And Mike, we'll start with you since you were just talking about your Twitter fame.
You can follow me at Thomas19064 on Twitter.
Is that Springfield?
It is. I grew up in Springfield and never changed the handle. So I'm riding that out. Delco.
I love that. Represent Delco.
There we go.
And what about you, Ed?
I'm at buzzkill_Ed. I'm from Delco. I live in South Philly now. And I'm not when you live in Delco, you kind of walk to Wawa and do certain things. Now you can't really do them, especially now with this thing. But I miss it. I miss I miss the suburbs sometimes, but it's fun down here too. But the whole point of moving down here was to be near the stadiums, and now the stadiums are, what's going on? We got nothing. Restaurants and stadiums is what we came down here for, and we're stuck inside. But we're gonna get through it. I don't know you got to draw up who I'm gonna play next.
I do, yeah. So
scared to death. But if I can get through Mike somehow, I don't know how. Marcus Epps, I pulled out of nowhere. I think that was, I don't know what that was. It's just 20. I don't know. There's not that many 20s. Torres, you wouldn't call him a winger, right?
No, not at all. So you did pull it out of your hat, Ed. And Mike, I mean, I was caught by surprise until my sister showed me the score. I was like, wow, even though Mike got the last two questions right, Ed still got the first three right, and that was enough to advance them. But if you guys aren't following the podcast on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, follow it at Free Kick Pod. You can search the podcast wherever you get your podcasts by searching The Free Kick, Todd Lewis, and then check out the website, even though there's basically nothing there other than podcast, thefreekickpodcast.com. But thanks so much, Ed and Mike, and I'll definitely get you on again sometime, Mike, and congratulations again, Ed.
All right, thanks, Todd. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks. Congrats, Ed.
Yep, and with that said, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.